Good morning all. Welcome to the session of dbms. In the previous session, we have discussed about ER model and we have successfully completed that ER model. So, in the ER model, we discussed about for a given scenario, for the given requirement, then how to design an ER diagram, right? We have created ER diagram by using almost all notations of ER model, right? So, then after that, we discussed about especially in the previous session, how to convert that constructed ER diagram into a relational model, right? So, and we have successfully solved around 4 scenarios, right, of our exercise problem, right? Almost all 4 scenarios almost representing real world things, right? So, and we have constructed an ER model and its equivalent relational mapping that we have done with the help of a 7-step ER to relational mapping algorithm, right. So, there we have seen that all 7 steps how it deals with the different notations and different concepts of ER model, then what its equivalent thing, equivalent representation in case of relational mapping, that all we have seen. So guys, today I am with the second exercise. For the second exercise, this is what a relational model, relational schema, conceptual schema, this is what we have created. And we'll try to create, we'll try to explore it in SQL, and once after creating a database where it contains almost all these tables as what we have defined, right, especially once after ER to relational mapping, right. So this is what the end product or the outcome of ER to relational mapping algorithm, which is applied on the constructed ER diagram for the second exercise, right, that is with respect to tournament scenario, right, cricket tournament scenario, ABC Cup something, right. So, we have discussed. I'll try to recall the story behind these tables, then later we'll go with creating a database for this table, and we'll try to solve few queries of our exercise, right, lab exercise. So, actually it is a table, the story behind all these tables is we are having, our intention is to conduct one cricket tournament, and in that tournament there could be plenty of teams are participating, right, contesting. So, each team is identified based on team IDs, right, and having a team name, having a coach and captain player ID, we are having captain PID, like that I have represented. Then the team belongs to some city something. Then after this there are many players, and each player is identified based on PID, player ID, right. So, then every player belongs to any one team, but a team can contain many players, that we have shown it with the help of by making, I missed one thing, what is that, each player belongs to one of the teams. So, for that a team ID, I am making this as a foreign key. So, for that a team can contain many players and each player belongs to only one team, that we are showing here, right. So, that is it. Next, then after this we are having plenty of stadiums, right, and each stadium is identified based on stadium ID, SID, then having a name, belongs to some city, area, pin code and all, and these are related to multi-valued attribute, that means a player can have multiple phone numbers, that we have shown by creating a separate table, right. So, by making this PID as a foreign key here, and it is pointing to player table, that is it. Then after this there could be plenty of matches played between the teams that we have shown here, and every match, definitely we know that a match always played between 2 teams, right, in case of a cricket, right. So, that we have shown here, and each match is identified based on uniquely with the help of a match ID attribute, then having a scheduled date and time. And so, once after match completion, any one team is going to win the game, right. So, that we have shown it in terms of winning team ID, right, where it is again a foreign key and it is pointing to what, team table. Then after this MOM PID, like that we have recorded, that means man of the match PID with a short name we have given, and this player ID always points to where, to the player table PID, that is it, right. So, every match having at least one man of the match award, and that will be given to any one player, right. So, that we have recorded here, that is it. And a match is played in some stadium, that SID we made it as foreign key and it is pointing to stadium table SID, that is it. Now guys, I will go with login into MySQL. Yes, I am in a MySQL environment. Now I will go with creating a database for this table, right. So before starting our the table creation, so first we should know which table we have to create first. Is it a match table or a team table or player table? So that we have to exercise. Any table we can create, but that requires, suppose if I have not planned it properly, then it requires to execute more number of alter commands, right? So for that, let me go with avoiding too many alters. So how can I do it is, suppose when I go with team table, then I should make this captain PID. So this captain PID is also what pointing to this player table, right? Because this is also a foreign key. Yes. So here captain player ID, I want to make it as a foreign key. To make it foreign key, I should have a player table to be created. Otherwise, I cannot make this captain player ID as a foreign key. Then match, can I able to go with player ID? So it requires team ID to be made as foreign key. So for that, it requires team table to be created first. So for that, once both the team and as well as a player are interdependent on one another, so for that I can go with creating any one of the table, and later we'll go with attaching that team ID as attaching a key constraint of foreign key. That means either team ID to as a foreign key. Suppose when I go with creating a player table first, or suppose if we create a team table first. So once after creating a player, we'll go with making this captain PID as a foreign key, guys, right? So we'll go with exploring. Let me go with creating a database now. How to create a database, guys? Database. So let me give a name as exercise 2. Yes. Then what next? Enter into our site, that means to our database. What is that? Exercise 2. Yes, exercise 2 I have given. Yes, database change. Now we are in our database exercise 2. Show database if required, you can get it. Look at this one, guys. We are having exercise 2 here, right? This one. Now I'll go with creating a table. So we'll take up the first table as a team table. How to create? Create table team. What are the attributes we are having? Team ID. It's of integer type, and I want to make it as a primary key. So that I'll make it as primary key. What next we are having? We are having a team name, coach. Let me go with recording team name varchar of some 20. Then after this, coach. Then after this, we are having a captain player ID. Let me call my name CPID. It's of integer. So later we'll make it as foreign key, because we don't have a player kind of a table, because this was the first table we are creating now, right? So team table. Next, city, it's of varchar again. So varchar of 20 will make. Yes, fine, done. So that's it. Yes, table created. Let me go with describe team. Yes, we have created and team ID as a primary key. Done. Now I'll go with creating a player table now. Create table player. I'll make this PID as integer type and as well as a primary key, right, as per our design. Then what next? P name, player name. Varchar of 20. What next? We are having age integer type. Next, we are having a team ID int, and I want to make this to be a foreign key, and it should point to where, guys? It should point to a team table, team ID, right? Foreign key of team ID, references team of team ID. That's it, right? Yes, the table created. Let me go with describe player. Yes, it was done. Fine, where PID is primary key and team ID is foreign key. Now I'll go with adding a constraint because here CPID, the CPID, I want to make it as foreign key. Currently we have not made because we have not created a table like team, right, during the time. Let me go with how can I made the CPID as a foreign key now. To add that constraint, go with what? Alter table, which one? Team, right? I want to add a constraint, so that what? Add, make use of a keyword add. Then what constraint I want to add, guys? Actually I want to add a constraint like foreign key. So let me write foreign key of which attribute I want to make it as foreign key. I want to make this CPID, right? Captain player ID. CPID should refer to where, guys? Captain is also basically what? A player. References. Look at this one. CPID player ID here. Captain PID should points to where, guys? It is pointing to player ID, right? So PID here. So that I'll go with references player of PID. That's it. Yes, query okay. Let me go with checking describe team. Look at this one, guys. CPID, we have successfully made it as a foreign key here. Then what else we are having? So we'll go with creating a stadium table because we have to make this SID as a foreign key and it should point to where, guys? Stadium. So once after creating a stadium, later we'll go with creating a match table, guys. So let me go with create table stadium. So what are all? Stadium ID int, it's a primary key. Then what? We are having stadium name, what next? We are having city, area and pin code. City, then after this pin code. Let me add it as integer type. Yes, all attributes are over and SID as primary key, even that also over. Let me go with put a semicolon. Yes, query okay, describe stadium. Yes, it was done. Next. So next one is, let me go with creating a match table. So create table. So and here don't make use of a match, guys, because match is a keyword in SQL. So it throws an error. So for that, what best we can do is add a one more alphabet or any digit you want, any symbol you want. So for that we can go with that means always it is not suggestible and not permit us to make use of a keyword as a table name or an attribute name, right? So I'll make it as a match one. Then after this I'll go with making use of a match ID int, and I want to make it as primary key. Yes, done. Then it is played between two teams, team 1 ID and team 2 ID. Team 1 ID int, then team 2 ID int. Then what next? We are having schedule date. Yes, date, it's of date type. Then yes, time, it's of time type. So date to be given in terms of 4-digit year followed by 2-digit month and followed by 2-digit second. Then time, hour, minute and second, like that. Next, win team ID. Let me add it as win TID, win team ID. You can write. So it's also of integer type. Then after this, man of the match player ID, MOMPID. Let me write int. And after this, SID int. Very big table, right? And now we'll try to add a constraint. Look at the beauty of this one. We are making how much? 1, 2, 3 foreign keys and all 3 points to where, guys? Team table. Then player ID points to PID, man of the match PID points to what? player ID, and SID, stadium ID, pointing to where? To a stadium table. Let me go with adding foreign key, and you have to write it each of them separately, right? Otherwise it becomes composite for foreign keys. Actually we have to point it to what? So individually. So for that, foreign key of team 1 ID, references, where guys? To team ID. Yes. And second one, foreign key of team 2 ID, references, team ID. What next? Foreign key of win team ID, references, team ID. Next one, captain player, sorry, which one? MOMP ID, foreign key of man of the match PID, right? References, player ID, we have given player PID, right? Yes. Player of PID. Then last one, SID, stadium ID, right? Foreign key of SID, references, stadium of SID. That's it. Yes, query okay, it was created. Let me check. Describe match 1. Yes, we are with a table with all 8 attributes, and we made that respective attribute as foreign keys. Look at this one, the beauty, 5 foreign keys and 1 primary key we are having. Then after this, the last table to be created is player phone number. Let me go with create table, player phone, player contact, whichever you want, you can make use PID, int, then followed by what? I want to make this phone number to be added, right? So phone number is also of integer type, and I want to make this PID as foreign key. Player of PID, yes, it was done. Let me go with describing. Yes, we have described here PID as foreign key pointing to player table. Now show tables. Look at this one, almost all 5 tables are over here. Let me go with inserting a tuple, inserting a value to all these tables. Let me go with starting it with the team table. So describe team. We'll go with we'll have a standard something, so for that easily we can able to analyze the result, right? So for that we'll try to keep this 1, 2, 3, this series 1, 2, 3 series for a team ID, and for player ID we'll have some 100, 101, 102, 100 series, and for stadium 200, 201, 202 this series, and for match ID we'll go with 300, 301 and 302 this series, right? So for that easily we can able to analyze the answers. Let me go with inserting a tuple, insert into team ID 1, right? This is what we said, team. Then team name, let me call it by name RCB, then coach, let me call it by name some A, then captain player ID that we don't know, so for that it doesn't allow us to permit us to write any other value, so for that fill null because we have not added any value to the player table. Then null is permitted always, right? Then city, let me call it my name some Mysore, yes, What's the problem? Problem is with respect to insert into team, you have to write values. Yes, done. So look at this one, select star from team. Yes, we got the value. Let me go with adding one more tuple, 2, we'll make it as Mumbai Indians, coach is some B, null and belongs to Mumbai. Yes, done. I'll go with adding one more value, 3. Let me add a value like KKR, then C, we'll make it as Kolkata. Last value, let me add CSK, D, make it as Chennai. Select star from team, yes, we are having a value. Let me go with describing a player table. We will try to add a value for a player. Insert into player values. PID will make use of a series like 100, this is what we said. Okay, you can give anything, no issues. Player name, let me call it by name some Raju. Then after this, what other attributes we are having? Age, we'll have some 19. Then team ID, let's assume he belongs to a team 1. So we'll add one more tuple, 101, Raghu, with value some 29, and he also belongs to team 1. Then I'll try to add 102, Mahesh, some value 23, we'll keep, then belongs to team 2, 103, let's assume Babu, some age 25, we'll add he also belongs to team 2. Then let me go with adding a last tuple, 104, he belongs to, name is some Balu, some 20, then belongs to team 3. So let's we'll try to have the content, select star from player, what is the content? We'll get it, almost all content. So we'll try to add one more tuple because to team 4 as what we are having. For that also some tuple we want to have. So 105, let me call by name Dhoni, then age some 30, right? Belongs to team 4. So yes, we are having 4 teams actually, right? And we are having players in all 4 teams. Let me go with updating a value because in the select star from team, we have not added any value for the captain player ID column. Then how can I update it? So that can be done with the help of update command. Update which one? Team set CPID is equal to what? So the first team RCB, a person who belongs to RCB, that person that player ID we want to add under this null value, right? So CPID equal to 100 where team ID equal to 1. Yes, done. So team ID I want to write. Yes, done. Next, let me go with CPID equal to 103 3 because second team, team 2, this one team 2, right, it is what, mi. So person who belongs to team 2, that person, let us say 102, we will make this 102 Mahesh as the captain of second team, 102, where team ID equal to 2. Yes, done. Next update for a team 3, a person who belongs to team 3, who is that? So 104. So 104 belongs to team 3, right? So 104 belongs to team 3, that I want to update it as a captain of that particular team. Yes, done. Then for a team 4, last one, which one? 105, right, belongs to team 4. Let's will make him as a captain. 105 team ID 4. Yes, select star from team. Now we are having the values for all the columns for team and as well as the player. Look at this one, guys, even for player. Then what's the next step? We'll go with adding a tuple for a stadium, then after match. Describe stadium. So insert into stadium values, stadium ID. So what is the series we planned? We planned 200 series, right? 200, 201 and so on. 200. Then stadium name, let me call the name some S1. Next, you can give any name, no issues. Then let me call the name city Mysore. Then area, something what A1. Then pin code, some pin code will write. That's it. Let me go with adding one more stadium S1, stadium name S2. It also belongs to Mysore. Some area pin code, no issues. If you want, you can change it. 203 S3, Bangalore, some area 224 something. Yes, I am having 3 stadiums. Yes, it was done. 200, 201 and 203. If you want, you can add 202, one more. Yes, it was done. Now I'll go with adding a tuple to a match table. So describe match, fine. Sorry, but look at this one. We don't have a table match one in the name like match. We have created a table in name of match 1, right? Since match is a keyword in SQL. So let me go with adding a tuple to a match. So we discussed something what we'll try to have a series like 300, 301 and 302, right? So let me go with making use of 300 series, insert into match 1 values, right? Fine. So 300. So team 1 ID, it is a match played between, let's assume between team 1 and 2. And what's the next tuple? Schedule date that we have to write. It always to be written in terms of what? First year, month, then followed by date, right? Then suppose if it is a time, then hour, then followed by minute, then followed by second. This is what a format to be used for time and this is for date. So let me go with adding. So always to be enclosed within the either single quote or in a double quote, guys. Okay, let me go with double quote. So 2020, either you can make use of colon or a hyphen, no issues. So 01, 02. Then time, I'll make use of some 10, 11. If you want 10, 11, 12. So you want, you can make use 10 o'clock time, then 11 represents a minute part and 12 represents a second part. Then after this, what's the next attribute we are having? Yes, date and test time is over. Then win team ID. Between 1 and 2, this is what a match played between 1 and 2, and team, let's assume team 1 won the match. Then after this, we are having a man of the match player ID. A person who belongs to either between team 1 or team 2. So for that person, we have to give a man of the match award. Let's assume 100. Raju got the man of the match award, MOM. Let me write 100. Then stadium. It was played in the stadium called some 200. Let's assume. So 200. Yes, it was done. Yes, query OK. Let me go with displaying. Look at this one, guys. We are having a data. So date, time, we are having a values, right? Fine. Next, let me go with adding. So recall the thing. Then 300, replace it by 301. Second match played between 1 and 3. Let's assume. So on the date, some 3. Let's assume at the same time in the same stadium. Assume. Yes, it was done. I'll go with adding a one more tuple. 302, it was played between 2 and 3, let's assume, on 4th date and same time, let's assume. Then I want to add a last tuple, so 303, you can add as many tuples as you want. So one played between the team 4 on 5, date 5th, right? Okay, done. So lost one more, 304, one with 5. So on the date 6th, in the stadium called 201. And who won the match between 1 and 5? Let's assume we have taken it as 1. Yes, 1 won the match. But in the previous case, we made there's some problem with respect to, I think, with respect to man of the match player ID and as well as 201. Do we have a 201 stadium 2? Yes, we are having. So let me go with displaying. Select star from match, match 1, yes, displayed, 1 minute, yes, 301, 300, here we made a mistake. Look at this one, it's a match played between 1 and 2 and 1 won the match and got the person belongs to team 1 got the man of the match award. Between 1 and 3, then 1 won the match, we took that also possible, then 100 got the man of the match award where 100 belongs to a team 1. Fine, between 2 and 3, match 1 by 1, it is wrong, right? So let me go with updating the third tuple and I'll make it as a team 2 won the match. And man of the match award, that also I want to give it for not for the team 1 player. It should be what? A player who belongs to second team. So second team or third team, second team, let me call my name some 102, Mahesh. So let me go with updating, update, match 1, set win team ID is equal to 2 and one more MOM PID, man of the match player ID should be equal to 103, could be right. So this one 103 belongs to, or 102 or 103, anything, both belongs to what? A team ID 2. 103 where match ID is equal to 3. Yes, it was done. Select star from match. Between 2 and 3, 2 won the win team ID. No, not updated. Win team ID. Now, where match ID is not 3, it is what? 3 not 2. Match ID belongs to what? 3 not 2. So, this is where we made a mistake, 3 not 2. Yes. Look at this one, select star from match 1, 3 not 2 between 2 and 3, and 2 won the match and 1 not 3 got the man of the match player ID. Then 1 between 3 not 3 played between 1 and 4 and 1 won the match and 100 got the man of the match award. Yes, it also done. If required, if you want, you can add one more tuple belongs to something. We are adding 3 not 4, right? So, between 1 and 5 played in 6th 1 2020, then there 1 won the match, and let's assume 100 got the man of the match award. It was played in the stadium 201. So, team 2 ID 1 and 4. Do we have a team 4? Let me check. So, team ID 4 we are having. What we are entering? We are writing a 5, right? We don't have a team like 5. So, for that, showing a referential integrity constraint. Look at this one. Team 2 ID we are writing 5 here, but we don't have a team 2 ID like 5 here. Right? That's why it's showing a error. That's it. So, let me write display the last table, that is with respect to player phone. Describe player phone Yes, let me go with adding tuple, insert into player phone values. So, let us say player 100 having some phone number, some number will write 101 with some number, one or two with some number. Yes, done. Select star from player phone. Now I will go with displaying all table values. Once player phone is over, select star from team. Then select star from player. Yes, done. And select star from match 1. Yes, done. Then select star from stadium. Yes, almost all tables, for all tables including player phone right here, we have entered values. In the next session guys, we will try to write queries on these tables. Thank you. Please practice all such things, how to create a table, right? So, by considering all primary and foreign key constraint, right, for a given, for a constructed relational schema, right. Thank you guys, thanks for your patience watching.